Good morning, our friends from different countries.
Let us introduce you the best city of Russia.
Penza has a great natural, cultural, and historical potential. There are many unique places. That's why our city is very attractive to tourists.
So now, let's begin our exciting tour. The main street of Penza obviously can be called the Moskovskaya Street, which is located in the historical center. Firstly, it is one of the oldest streets in the city. It dates back to the middle of the 7th century. Secondly, Moskovskaya Street is a pedestrian street, so if you come to Penza, you should stroll along the local arbor. A cuckoo clock appeared on Moskovskaya Street in 1974. This site is very popular with local citizens and tourists. The tower clock was created at the 3 factories: clockwork at the Serdobsky factory, crystal columns at the Nikolsky glass factory, and an 8-meter tower at the diesel plant in Penza. By the way, the cuckoo cuckoos every hour. There is the Fountain Square on the main street of the city. Every weekend there are a lot of holidays and festivals. On weekdays it is also always crowded. In summer there is one of the city attractions, light musical fountain. One of the most beautiful buildings of the city is obviously Penza's Drama Theatre. In 2008, the building of the Drama Theatre was burned to the dust. The new one was opened in 2010. Now the building attracts many tourists with its beautiful architectural style. Lenin Square is called the main square of the city. Before you, there is a House of Soviets. It is the largest administrative building of the city. And right in front of it, the monument to Vladimir Lenin. Almost 6-meter bronze figure is installed on a 7-meter pedestal made of grey granite. In winter, the main Christmas tree of the city is established right here. From this square you can also see another side of the city, Rostok, standing on the river bank. People enjoy walking there and admiring the beauty of waterfront.
I would like to tell you about one of the most famous parts of Penza. The Central Park of Culture and Rest, named after Belinsky, or simply the Belinsky Park, is one of the oldest Russian parks, with total area about 370 hectares. The park originated in 1821. Its first name was Public Garden. Later it changed to Top Night Out, and in 1825, after the Summer Theatre was built there, to Summer Park. And only in 1911, in Belinsky's 100th birthday, the park was named after this critic and humanist. There is a monument of Belinsky in the park and a memorial gate with a bas-relief. Nowadays, the park is very attractive for tourists and citizens of our city. Here you can find many different rides for children and grown-ups, botanical garden, planetarium, and also many different cafes and benches where you can take rest enjoying the beauty of an oakery. Finally, I can say that this place is worth visiting. Welcome to our Belinsky Park.
There is an interesting place near Penza. It's a city satellite which is called Sputnik. It's a district which lives its own life independent from Penza. But it's not just living district. There are schools, kindergartens, markets and gyms.
It's a real little city. Sputnik is situated in the beautiful natural place near the lake. Embankment is the favorite place for walking. It's the best place for people to rest, where often celebrated many holidays. One of the most interesting places in Sputnik is a musical fountain. The fountain shoots up changing colors. It's the biggest fountain in Penza.
House of Meyerhold, it is a center of theatrical art. In 1984, the family home of Meyerhold was opened as a museum and was the first not only in Russia but also abroad. Meyerhold's family lived in this house until 1898, the opening of the memorial. We're in the house museum of Vsevolod Meyerhold in Penza. Meyerhold is a Russian great dramatist who has German origin, who was born and spent the third part of his life in Penza.
We are in the first hall, which tells about the stage of his art in St. Petersburg. In front of you, we can see the portrait Meyerhold as Dr. Duppertuto. Also, we can see here a lot of sketches and drafts for different directions and costumes for them. The next room is an illustration of changing the style of the director during his life in Moscow. Here you can see the evolution of his life and the influence the time spirit. There a lot of photos. On these photos you can see Meyerhold's friends and pupils.
The third room tells us about the creation and life of Vsevolod Emilovich in Soviet period. There are many frames from the Meyerhold's directions, such as the forest and the government inspector. Moreover, we can see here the friendliest caricatures which were presented to Vsevolod Emilovich by famous artists. The last room returns us to the beginning of Meyerhold's life in Penza. The interior of the room hasn't been restored to how it would look when Meyerhold's family lived here. There are a lot of personal stuff and photos of Meyerhold.
House of Meyerhold, it is a theater with their own troupe that shows interesting performances every weekend. We will glad to see you in the center of theatrical art, Meyerhold's house.
The monument of military and labor valor of Penza citizens during the Great Patriotic War, or simply the Victory Monument, is a monument on the Victory Square in Penza, dedicated to military and labor feats of residents and natives of our region during the Great Patriotic War of 1941-1945. It was opened on 9th of May of 1975 to the 30th anniversary of the victory in the Great Patriotic War. The woman standing on a granite pedestal symbolizes the motherland. The child on her shoulder is holding a gilded branch that traditionally symbolizes the triumph of life. At the foot of the pedestal there is a warrior defender with a rifle in his hand. In front of the monument there is a metal 5-pointed star, in the center of which you can see the eternal fire. On the plates in front of the flame there is an inscription carved on granite, which states, "Their glory is eternal, the memory of them sacred." In the niche of one of the granite steps there is a regional memory book with the names of Penza warriors who died during the Great Patriotic War. Nowadays, the Victory Monument is one of the most famous and recognizable symbols of Penza. It is the biggest regional monument of military kind. On Victory Day there are parades, solemn processions and ceremonies.
Museum of One Painting is situated in Penza. It was founded in 1983 on the initiative of Georg Vasilievich Мясников. Now, on the front of the museum's building, you can see a memorial tablet bearing his name.
The museum contains only one hall, which introduces only one painting, but is usually of great cultural significance. Visitors watch a 45-minute film describing its history and the biography of a painter. The museum has presented a lot of famous masterpieces such as The Concave Snowy Town by Vasily Surikov, Ship Grove by Ivan Shishkin and others. During this time it has been visited by more than 400,000 people.
The museum building is considered to be an architectural monument of the 19th century. The Museum of One Painting in Penza has joined the top 3 of the best museums of the world. You can see the monument of the first settlement near the Museum of One Painting. A memorial historical complex was opened here in 1980. The main feature is the first settler monument, which depicts a settler in ancient Russian dress standing near his horse. The base of the monument features an inscription. In the year 1663, it was ordered to build a city on the river Penza. The viewing platform on which the settler stands opens up to views of the city and the river Sura. It's beautiful in every season, but takes on a certain magic during the first few weeks of snow. Also part of the complex is a cannon and the reconstruction of a tower. The monument of the first settler is one of the prettiest spots in Penza.
The night is coming and unfortunately our tour is finishing.
It's impossible to show all interesting sides of Penza.
So we'll be glad to see you in our hometown.
Welcome to Penza!